A successful business needs paying customers. This is quite obvious. But not so obvious is the most effective way to attract and convert these customers. That's what I'll share with you today. Think about the last time you made a decision to buy something. Then backtrack that process leading up to the time that you paid for the product or service. What you'll find is that there are 3 stages to every consumer's buying process. This is commonly known as the know, like, trust funnel. But instead of a funnel, which is this way, I like to flip it around and think of it more of a pyramid, because each of these stages are foundational to one another, meaning they are built upon each other. I remember when I was buying my Tesla. This was back in 2012, and at the time it was still an unknown brand. I saw the Tesla Roadster at a car show up here in Vancouver and thought it was interesting. Then I inquired more about it, and that's how I got to know the Tesla brand. Then I did the research on it and learned more about it, learned about the alternative car company model. I resonate with the idea of a simple machine without the complications and pollution of a combustion engine. I like the small owner community that Tesla built. I really like the large screen that the Model S had, providing for simple, tech-oriented interface. That was enough to get me to book a test drive in Seattle. At the time, there was no representation in Vancouver, but the showroom and the staff in Seattle and that whole experience gave me the trust that this was a legitimate company. The test drive left an unforgettable experience, and I liked the car even more. Their better than industry warranty of 5 years bumper to bumper and 8 years warranty on the battery gave me the trust to go ahead and make the purchase. So breaking that process down, you can see that I went through the know, the like, and the trust stages. This applies to anything, whether it's an expensive purchase like a Tesla or a stick of gum at the grocery store. The only difference is how long you'll stay in each stage. The bigger the purchase, the longer you'll stay in each stage, especially the like and trust stages. Now let's apply this to buying a stick of gum. You're at the grocery store, and if you're a regular gum chewer, then you'll know your brands. If not, you'll at least have heard of some. But let's say you don't. Then in front of you is a myriad of brand choices. This is a low ticket item, so you won't be spending too much time researching and trying to know deeply about each brand. Instead, you'll default to the common things like, do you like the look of the logo, the color, the format of the gum? At this stage, you're choosing one that you like. Once you decide on this, you go ahead with the purchase without staying too long in the trust stage. The brand recognition is probably enough for you to risk $2.49 to purchase something without much thought. The most you might do is maybe check the expiry date before the purchase. This whole process for you is probably like 5 minutes tops. Contrast that to when you are making a big purchase. The buying process for my Tesla was probably 2 or 3 months. So I'm sharing this with you because as a business owner and entrepreneur, you need to understand your customers' buying process. This will allow you to come up with better marketing strategies to affect the know stage, to craft better messages about your company, which shortens the like stage, and finally, share with your target clients the relevant information to collapse the trust stage. Now let's dive into each of the know, like, trust stage more, and I'll share with you some things that you should have in each stage to effectively convert your prospects into paying customers. Before we get into that though, I'll introduce the basics of any marketing, and that is knowing your target customer. This is a common thing that many business owners don't do. They just cast a wide net, and that is not efficient use of your marketing money. Others don't even cast any net at all and just wait for their customers to find them. Both of these are at the mercy of luck. So instead, you want to create your own destiny. You need to understand your target market, your client avatar, so that you can craft your marketing message to the right person. For instance, if you're selling craft supplies, you won't be advertising in Hunter's Digest magazine. First, you need to know your company's DNA so that you can share this as your marketing message. Then people who resonate with your DNA will naturally be attracted to you. Then identify your target client, or some people call this your client avatar. Ask questions to identify them. Where do they live? How old are they? What is their gender? Where do they hang out? What are their interests? What do they want from your company? What does the typical order look like? For repeat customers, why do they continually buy from you? These are really good questions to help identify your client avatar. Now let's get into each stage and what they entail. The know stage. The key thing to this stage is to build your brand awareness. If people don't know you exist, then why would they ever come to your business? Once you know your core client demographic with the client avatar process I just talked about, then introduce yourself. The main idea of the know stage is to get your name out there so it's recognizable and people understand what you're about. If you're a new company, it could be your name and your logo, but add a short slogan or tagline to describe what your company does. For instance, my company is the Victor Eric Group of companies, but I brand it as Victor Eric Premium Homes so people get a hint of what we do. And my tagline is creating amazing spaces. So all of that helps to give that hint that they need to come to you. The like stage. If you did your branding well in the know stage, then your customers will recognize your brand, knowing who you are and what services you provide. Now you want them to like you. There are various reasons people will like one company over another. Aesthetics of your brand. This is the logo and brand identity. If your DNA and target client resonates to a young demographic, then you want your logo to speak to this. Like Lululemon, for instance. It will not work if you had a logo that was traditional, old school, and stuffy, something that may be suitable for law firms. The Lululemon crowd will not attract to that. Reputation. Have you been featured in other media? And which media is it? Going back to my craft supply example, it would be very different if your article was in a craft magazine as opposed to a Hunter's Digest magazine. Cause marketing. What social causes are you supporting? This may be important if your DNA has social impact aspects to it. Luxury. Many luxury brands purposefully set themselves apart from others because their customers are looking for exclusivity. They don't want what others have. Think of brands like Louis Vuitton and Rolls-Royce. Getting people to like your company is like making friends. You will have to do things for others to like you. My tip here is to always lead with value. This can be done through educational posts or doing free webinars. For social media, instead of using it only to promote your business, you can offer valuable insights and tips on your social posts. Trust. This stage is the stage that your customers will spend the most time in, especially if you're selling a bigger ticket item. Remember my story of when I was buying my Tesla? So to be effective in this phase, you need to give your customers reasons to trust you. Trust is earned, and your company has to do many right things first before you can get to this level. That's why it takes time to build. For instance, follow through on your deliverables and commitments. If you said that you will provide a fee estimate on a certain date, then you better stick to that. These are the first hints of trust or non-trust with a client. Do good work and tell clients about it, either through reviews or photos. Show people your company can handle the job. This may not be applicable for the job that the client's coming to you for, but if you can show them similar jobs you've done before, then this will build trust. Things to build trust with: testimonials and reviews from past clients. These are really important because it's people who's gone through your client experience and telling others about it. Articles from other experts. This could be in magazines. Third-party experts speak a lot, bring a lot of credibility. Guarantees to reduce their risk, right? People like to buy without risk. That's why this whole trust component takes so long to build. They need to assess their risk. So if you have guarantees, money back guarantees, 30-day guarantees, that will help to reduce that. Case studies to show past jobs that you've done and how you resolve the challenge presented to you. People will resonate with similar case studies that are similar to themselves. Portfolio of past work. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. Pretty pictures not only build trust, but also speak to the clients emotionally. And people always buy on emotion. For example, I'll share with you my design business when I was building it. In the beginning, I never collected any photos or took pictures of finished projects. And people kept on asking me, well, show me some stuff you've done, and I had nothing to show for. It was only when I had my portfolio to show that they really trusted me. And what didn't help was I was quite young when I started my business. So people are looking at this really young kid, if you will, and believing if he can actually do it or not. So the portfolios really help to build that trust. And also it puts them into that dreamy stage of their dream home. So that's always a good time to close. The buy stage. This last stage is easy and almost automatic if you did the previous 3 stages well. Like I said, they build upon one another. So for those who are worried about not knowing how to sell or not confident in this department, just do the other 3 well, and this step will come naturally for the customer. Questions to think about here are, how are you asking for the sale? Do you have a strong call to action, either on your website or in your conversations with the client? Does your current sales process make it easy for customers to do business with you? For instance, do you have action forms on your website for when your customers are excited about buying from you once they finish reviewing your testimonials and see your portfolio? Is there a simple checkout process if you're selling a product? Do you have a short response time for sales inquiries? Remember, people buy on emotion, and this window of opportunity is very short if you want to act on it while they're still excited about your brand. So I hope this video gave you some valuable tips on how to improve the effectiveness of converting your customers. If you're interested in what I do as a business success coach, please check out my website for more information. My first consultation is always free, so don't hesitate. I would love to see how I can turbocharge your success.